harmony as a language. As I said, the more you learn about harmony, the better you are at using more notes or less notes to convey an idea. So take for example, Mirror the Little Lamb. That would be um, in relation to jazz or even more a classical approach. That would be a simple way of playing Mirror the Little Lamb. Once you know what the melody sounds like, once you know what the chord structure is, the movements, progressions, some of those words, I'll have those words as words for like a vocabulary list. You guys can check out even after this presentation. But just to barely scratch the surface of harmony, um, progressions, cadences, melody lines, those words would be used to kind of describe playing a song and using harmony. Now, as opposed to a more jazz approach, disclaimer, I'm not a jazz musician, but whatever sounds good to me, it helps me to convey the feeling I want to convey. And for me, when I add like some notes for people that say wrong, that's jazz. It's jazz. Yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, man. It for me, wrong notes are just played at the wrong time. I mean, if you play a note, you just have to know what direction you need to go for it. Anyway, enough of the talking. Same Mirror the Little Lamb. So as I play the first one, all right. Same Mirror the Little Lamb, adding more notes. All right. So, just for example, one of the things that musicians always try to do, especially keyboardists, is have the melody on top. And it depends on if you're accompanying or if you are, what do they call it now? If you're performing by yourself, you want to ensure that the audience know what the song is, where you are in the song, and all of that. However, there is the opportunity for you to deviate if you want to, add more notes or change the melody, but just knowing that there is somewhere that the fundamental note or the fundamental melody is being heard, right? And that's just to kind of give a demonstration as to how more notes can give a different feeling than less notes. The first idea that I played would have sounded more childlike, more simple, to the point, bright. The second one, more notes, you're adding a bit more flavor to it. Usually when I'm teaching my students, I tell them that adding different ingredients or different to elements to music helps to make the pot richer. So imagine when you're playing or when you're composing, the more elements you add is the more ingredients you're adding to the pot. And when you finish with the pot, you're gonna have persons who like your cooking, whether them like with enough salt in it or pepper, or if they just like it simple. So yeah, harmony can be very complicated, but understanding it in its truest form helps you to present an idea to somebody based on how you are feeling and what you want to convey. Now, conversation, each note in a harmonic structure needs somewhere to go. Like a conversation, your vocabulary and knowledge of a topic helps to guide the conversation and keep it interesting. That was something that was just done. Um, you could hear, excuse me, you could hear high pitch, low pitch, and there was like communication going on with the melody and the bass. If you listen to the melody, once you know the melody, you're more inclined to want to listen to more of the harmonic structure. That's something that I've noticed that once you hear the melody, you're singing the melody, you're not really paying attention to the melody because you already know the melody. But when you start to listen more and pay more attention, you're listening to how the harmonic structure helps to shape your emotion, the motion in which it's going. You know that, all right, this is what the composer intends. and it might sound interrupted because you might not be expecting somewhere that the composer goes. So knowing where to go can help you to kind of direct your audience in what direction you want them to go. And that's once you have a basic understanding um, of harmony and harmonic structure. Next, I have harmony in nature. Like nature, there is growth and life in harmony. So harmony, you have where, for example, C major can grow in so many different ways based on where you want to go, and just knowing that, yeah, there needs to be growth, because if you just play C major, that doesn't make no sense. You're just playing a chord. But once you're playing a song, there has to be movement, there has to be growth. And that growth can come in the form of major chords, minor chords. Two of the most used chords in our music, major chords and minor chords. C major, for example, as well. And I use C major because it is easily understood based on the steps, whole steps, half step structure that is there. So we're using only white keys. So it's important to note that if you're learning, then C major would be like more fundamental, a key to start learning from. If you want to learn music and learn the different structures, different formulas and stuff like that. Major chords, minor chords. So growth. I can use major chords and play a song and it will sound complete, as well as using minor chords or mixing the two. So for example, this is just a random progression. So that's a combination of both major, minor. There's a growth, and then you can even get even more, what you'd call it, more adventurous, and add some more chords that would not necessarily be in the diatonic scale of C major. So all right. So for me, it's knowing how you'd want the song to progress. When you play a certain chord, it's like it takes you to a different dimension, for want of a better word. As well as some chords, it's like it's closing down the song. You can know that there is almost a resolution coming. I mentioned cadences earlier before, where a cadence would be like 5-1 or 4-1. And hearing those sounds, you hear them either in gospel music or in jazz music or classical music. Hearing those sounds, it helps you to know that there's a resolve coming. All right. Energy. Let me present that screen again. The energy, harmony becomes more powerful based on its application. So hope everyone's seeing the screen. Harmony becomes more powerful based on its application. So as I was saying, when you know where to go, what direction you want to go with the music, what direction you want to go with the melody line, you can deviate from wherever you are, that tonal structure, the foundation 1-4-5, adding different notes and different harmonies can help you to make the song more powerful, make the instrumentation more powerful, help to convey a different emotion than what most persons would probably convey that same song that you're playing. If that makes sense. Some notes, when placed together, require a specific destination. There's a certain force or pull, whether up or down. Energy.